In the world today, there are people who are kind, courteous, and believe in being nice to everyone. And then there are people who don't think that way at all and are driven to take an eye for an eye when the situation arrives. Whether you can determine who is who in terms of their personality will save you considerable grief later on in life. And we're not just talking about people that are armed, we're talking about others out in the world who feel they have nothing better to do than go and punk you out or knock you out. So allow us to show you 6 people you should never mess with. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 6, the police. Now, you might think that we're saying this is a rather overarching statement in how you need to respect law enforcement no matter what. But that's not actually why we're putting them on this list. In fact, we're putting them on here because of the actions of the police in recent years that helped start the Black Lives Matter protest. Because while it is true that there are plenty of cops who are more than willing to go the distance to do the right thing, there are just as many who are willing to bend the law to their will in order to deliver what they feel is justice. Now, we saw with the death of George Floyd, of which the trial for his death is ongoing, and we're already seeing things that are rather sad from an objective standpoint. We saw it with the death of Breonna Taylor, and we even saw it with the Capitol riots. How so? Well, if you recall when Black Lives Matter went and protested at Washington, D.C. to get more attention, they brought in the National Guard to protect the Capitol building, even though there was no reason given the intent of the protest. In contrast, when the January 6th riots happened at the Capitol, incited by then President Donald Trump, the National Guard was not there and couldn't be called in for reasons that are too sad to explain. And what's worse, the police that were there and tasked with guarding the building simply let them walk through without issue. So why shouldn't you mess with the police? Because it's honestly a bit of a crapshoot in terms of who you are going to be dealing with. You get a straightforward officer who just wants to do their job and get you on your merry way, or it could be someone who puts you in a chokehold for having a counterfeit bill on you. While you absolutely need to stand up for your rights, also be smart and realize that while you follow the law, that doesn't mean they will. And that is why so many are asking for change in regards to police reform and how the police handle business, so that we don't have fear of messing with the police just by existing. Number 5, Giga Oguru. Let's just be honest with ourselves for a minute. If you have a name like Giga, you're destined to be tough, just because you can put your name next to a certain thing and make it sound epic, like Giga Punch, Giga Max, Giga Impact, and so on. Anyway, the reason that Giga Oguru is on this list is simple: dedication to his craft. When he was just a child, his parents took him to learn Taekwondo, a very well-known martial art. And once Giga learned that, he didn't stop learning. No, not Taekwondo, but martial arts in general. He dedicated himself to learning as many martial arts as possible, like Thai boxing, Krav Maga, and even incorporating acrobatics like parkour free running, just so that he could be on the maximum possible level that he could be. This man is a beast in both terms of his physical fitness and the amount of time that he dedicates to his training. The videos he makes that showcases both his training regimen and the abilities he has is absolutely insane. He calls himself a ninja, and if you're foolish enough to doubt that claim, well, hey, it was nice knowing you. Number 4, Shi Yanming. When it comes to the warriors of history, the Shaolin monks are said to be some of the most amazing fighters ever. Not just because of their skills in battle, but because of their mental discipline and their ability to push out earthly distractions in order to go and do more within themselves. Shi Yanming was once just a boy who at the age of 5 was given away by his parents to the Shaolin temple nearby. He became one of the youngest monks there and soon learned the art and majesty of Kung Fu. By the time 1992 came around, he was so good that he went and won several martial arts tournaments and was then invited to the US to do an exhibition there. But in a twist, he decided to defect, and after some lost in translation moments, he went to New York and opened up a Kung Fu school to promote the martial art. He was not only successful, but went on to star in media and even train Hollywood and martial arts legends like Jackie Chan, among others. He is a renowned master with decades of experience. So yeah, don't mess with the monk. Number 3, Meena Raghavan. What? Who said you couldn't put ladies on this list? We would have put Samus Aran, but she's always off in space. So we'll settle for another epic warrior via Meena Raghavan. The reason she is on this list has to do with her nation's martial art, the Indian style of Kalari Payattu. A style, by the way, that is said to be one of, if not the oldest martial art in all of the world. It is a style that uses both a variety of weapons and acrobatics to go and do devastating attacks and strikes against your opponent. Now, if you're curious, yes, both men and women are allowed to go and learn it, but there's the fun bit comes in. Because while the men usually go the distance and work in the martial art all of their lives, the women who learn it usually stop around the age of 20. That is, except for Mina Raghavan, who started learning and hasn't stopped even though she is 79 years old. What's more, she started learning the martial arts when she was 7, meaning she has over 70 years of experience in the art, and she is in fact the oldest known wielder of the art in India right now. She is so dedicated to it that she started up her own school so that she could teach others. To her students, she is known as grandmother, and not unlike a grandmother, she doesn't charge them anything for her wisdom. All she asks is that when they're done with their training, she gets a donation from them so that she can continue to run the school. Number 2, The Mountain. Okay, we're gonna go a little fan style with this next one because Bjornsson is the name of the man who is so monstrous that he was literally cast in Game of Thrones to portray a monster. That's right, he is the Mountain. Now, while technically 2 different men played the Mountain over the years, it was Bjornsson who played him in season 4 in what is considered one of the best episodes of yet The Viper and the Mountain. Now, this man is a beast, and the world knows it. He's won all sorts of competitions in order to prove his overwhelming strength. He won the Strongest Man in Iceland event in 2010 and Iceland's Strongest Man in 2011. He won Europe's Strongest Man in 2014, a feat that he then repeated in 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2019. He won gold at the Arnold Strongman Classic in 2018, 2019, and 2020. He first competed in the World's Strongest Man in 2011, placing 6th. He won 3 bronze and 3 silver medals in his next 6 attempts before being crowned champion in 2018. On May 2nd of 2020, he deadlifted a record-setting 1,105 pounds under strongman rules at his gym in Iceland. And not unlike his character in Game of Thrones, he is really hard to beat. So if you see him, be nice, or else he'll crack your head like an egg. Number 1, Mindy Kelly. Let's finish this list off with another epic lady, shall we? Because here's a lady who doesn't believe in the word can't do or won't be able to. Mindy Kelly is a world-class martial artist who holds 12 world records under her name and dedicates herself to being the best she can be and never giving up on herself. Between her martial arts training and her acrobatic skills, she is not just a renowned fighter, but a choreographer. She moved to Hollywood to achieve her dream of being in movies, and she did accomplish that in her own way, even directing fights and choreography for music videos featuring Lady Gaga, among others. She was inspired by the one and only Bruce Lee, and hey, we think he'd be proud of all that she's accomplished. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the world and the people who are in it that you definitely shouldn't mess with? Who on this list that we showed do you personally feel like not getting close to? Do you think it's odd that there are people you shouldn't mess with? Do you know other people whom you feel should be on this list? Let us know in the comments below, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time on the channel.